welcome back to Belmont Bunch. It's been so long. And I'm so excited to have Islanders news again. So, we have a flurry of signings today. The Islanders have signed Beauvillier, Cizikas, Sorokin, Palmieri. Beauvillier, 3 years, $4.1 million. Very happy with that. He's a guy that has shown in the playoffs that he shows up. He's a guy who he works really hard. He gets the puck in deep, chases after it, and sometimes scores off his own dump in. A couple times I've seen that in his career. And hardworking guy, somebody that I think at points you could put up with Barzal and let the buddies play a little bit. If you need a shakeup in the lineup. So I like that number. I like that term. Cizikas. So the term is alarming some people. The number, not really. $2.5 million, completely fair. It's a downgrade from his last contract, money-wise. Gets certainty for knowing where he's going to live for a while. Cizikas, this is another one where I think you're staying with your team identity. You're going to make teams work by keeping that fourth line together. Even though, it's going to get less effective as time goes by, you're keeping your identity in the moment because the window is now. I had a comment on a video a couple weeks ago, and I get it. I do these GM modes in like the NHL games and the Madden games and stuff, and I get that it's like enticing to just throw the kids all in there at once. Somebody had mentioned Colin Adams and a bunch of Ruslan Ishikov, I think maybe, and a bunch of rookies. But I think, look, the group that did it last year came a game away from getting to the Cup Finals, and I think they would have beaten Montreal. So I don't think you should, blow that up. So, that being said, the Cizikas deal, I don't think you shouldn't worry about the term. The win now, it's win now. So Sorokin, 3 years, $4 million. So less than Shesterkin. That makes sense. He's not the full-time starter. Shesterkin's going to be the full-time starter. So that makes sense from that point of view. But the term is interesting because Varlamov is still going to be the starter this year. But maybe, Sorokin's playing time probably increases as their trust in him increases. He got playoff starts last year. They're starting to believe. And, I think by the end of that term, I would expect him to be the starter. And maybe you get a 1 year where you've got a high-level starter at $4 million signed. Pretty good. Palmieri, this is the only one that I think I'm a little bit more lukewarm on. But as pointed out by Jay Fresh on Twitter, his shooting percentage last year was down to 8.7 from like an average of about 12% for his career. So we saw that positive regression in the playoffs. Maybe we see it balanced over the regular season instead of all at once in the playoffs. Not complaining. That was pretty fun for the playoffs. So those were via Elliot Friedman. The team announced all these as well. That leaves all of this plus Hickey buried in the minors. I didn't do that with Leo yet because I didn't know what to do with Leo because I don't know what's going on with Leo. The Islanders are currently at 2.3 in cap space, 2.3 million. Parise expected to sign. That's my handy dandy little forward chart over there. You've got Panik. You've got Bellows is still an RFA, I believe. You've got Ross Johnston. You got a lot of extra forwards, and I would expect Lou to try to jettison Leo, if possible. That's another $3 million, and maybe you could figure a way to get Matthias Ekholm in that second defensive pairing crater left by Nick Leddy's departure. And Nashville, I think that makes sense because they've shown that they're kind of in a rebuild now. They've started selling off a little bit, acquiring prospects. I think they saw that their upside last year and going forward, if they kept going in that direction, was probably first-round exit. So, probably smarter to just get what you can back for a lot of that core in the defense, especially. And maybe the Islanders, that makes the perfect sense, is Ekholm's on a good contract as well, and I don't think there's much term left on it. So, that being said, if that doesn't happen, Bolduc, Robin Salo, I wouldn't have a problem with them on that bottom pairing on the left side. My only worry then would be Andy Green moving up to top 4 minutes. And then I guess maybe Hickey would be the extra defenseman, but then, that defeats the purpose of burying his contract. I mean, it wouldn't bury his contract anymore. So there's a lot of moving parts still going on here. Potential trades, stuff like that. But I just very excited about these signings. Islanders keeping the team mostly together. I think the drop-off from Eberle to Palmieri, I don't know if there is one. I think it's pretty even. Maybe you could say that, maybe Eberle's a little bit better skilled. But Palmieri kind of fits the mold of this team. A lot of two-way forwards that can also score. That's part of what two-way means, Tom. Anyway, that's the video. I'm very excited for the season. Very excited by these signings. These are the kind of signings I expected for every team in the offseason in a year where we have a flat cap. And it seems like Leo is one of the only guys that decided to spend fairly reasonably. So I'm very happy with that. Very calm about this Islander team right now. And that's it. So we'll see you next time on Belmont Bunch.